I was gonna say friend of the show, but the show's new, so he's not really a friend of the show. But
All right.
long time people are gonna know the face, the voice, the name, a an icon on the Calgary sports media landscape.
Well, yeah.
The one and only Rob Kerr joins us right now on Barn Burner.
Robert?
Gentlemen, where am I? Like, I'm downstairs somewhere. I can't see anything. Are you guys good? Is everybody okay?
You're not downstairs. We're in this is the penthouse.
This.
I know.
is
Listen, Christ
this is the
almighty.
penthouse. You spent all the money on the other side of the table, and over here,
Mhm.
we're kind of slumming.
We
Yeah,
have
your
Tommy on the
visual.
other day. We had Conroy. We have guests coming, Bo Levi, and
Yeah.
all people can say, "Oh, you need something up in the
We're
background.
working at
The
it.
background looks like shit.
It's
Why don't you put some stuff up behind the guests?"
Possible. They're right. It's
Jesus.
possible. Have you ever considered that the feedback you're getting might actually be constructive and something you could use?
Yeah, it's probably not wrong.
Can I just start here?
No,
Let me just start here.
Now we can leave.
This show hasn't changed one. It has fucking changed.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Ding! It
So
has
straight.
because of that. But you've managed to somehow take what you perfected on radio and squeeze it
Being idiots?
into the intranets and the
Yeah.
series of tubes
Yeah.
and the YouTubes and the Twitters and stuff, and you've brought it over here. The last half hour of Nona's house with the above ground pools
Yeah.
and the whiskey dent, I learned so much.
That's why people
you know
tune
what,
in, Rob.
like people watch this and listen to this to be entertained. Little do they know they're actually going to be educated.
That's right.
So you're doing a public service. The fact that you have incredible sponsors the way you do,
Mhm.
that's one thing. But it just boggles my mind that the province hasn't actually dipped their toe into this and given you money, because you're actually making us better people by educating us on whiskey dents.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
and you know what? I forgot to do this earlier in the show because we got Red in, and I figured,
yeah.
while we've got him, we better do Ask Red. While we're talking about the province,
Yeah.
should be giving us money.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Jasper?
Have I ever been to Jasper?
Have you ever been?
No. Tell me about it. Where is
No,
it?
You can answer that.
Oh, I don't
Do
know.
you often go?
Do I often go? No, I'm located closer to this national park, so I go
That's
to this
right.
one.
Yeah.
But I have been to Jasper. Jasper Park Lodge is among my
Beautiful.
favorite places to be. I think it's a little bit quieter than Banff is.
Totally.
Uh,
Same awesome mountains, smaller
The same
crowds.
awesome mountains. Actually, I used to work an hour away from Jasper, so I'd pop into Jasper all the time when I was in Hinton. So,
Hinton.
Were you,
yes.
What were you doing there? Were you
I was working as a forest guardian,
right?
running a couple of
Forest
campgrounds.
Guardian.
This is
So
so great.
yeah, and actually, my one summer I was the forest guardian Rock Lake, which was a provincial park at the north end of Jasper Park. So
Cool.
yeah,
So I'm glad you asked.
thank you.
Jasper, travel Jasper. Were you Oilers Nation, Flames Nation?
Yep.
We've collaborated, and we're gonna do some interesting, fun stuff. I know in January.
I've been hearing some whispers. Of
Yeah,
some
it's gonna
Are you
incredibly
going to
amazing
Jasper?
Things. That's
Uh,
probably going to be something.
Then you
like
want to
that,
go
Rob.
to L&W Pizza,
Okay.
which is the home of the best mountain pizza you'll ever have.
Is that right?
Assuming it's still open.
Well, that's a free one. Now for the one that's paid, you can get right now online the escape card
Rules?
at Marmot Basin. I had to go on. I went to their website to check to make sure that this was true. Or that it says here half price lift tickets, only $89 plus tax.
Come on.
Do you know
Okay.
who loves
Well,
Marmot Basin?
Who's
Mark Spector. From
I don't know who that is.
he's a guy from sports. You got his book up there.
Sportsnet. What's that?
He's got his.
Some
You know,
sort of a US
he's one of those
cable?
guys that tweets all the time about the Oilers getting screwed by officials. That
Yeah.
guy, but he loves Marmot Basin.
Half price lift tickets with the Marmot escape card. No blackout dates.
That's unreal.
All
Yeah.
season, and up to 50% lift tickets at partner ski areas, up to 30% off accommodation in Jasper.
Like that.
Jasper's not screwing around. They want you to get up there.
Why wouldn't you?
You can see the website there, jasper.travel/escape for more information. We're going to tell you about the cabins and how you can maybe get up there for Christmas and enjoy the holidays, something beautiful. out
If
there.
the weather's right and you just can time it right after a snow, there is no better drive in the entire world than the Banff Park or
Icefields
the
Parkway.
Icefields Parkway. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I think that's part of what this is about.
Yeah.
Is it further than? Well, of course it is. But I've lived here for a long. I've never made the drive. I've never
You've never
done
done
that
the
drive.
Icefields
I've
in the
never
winter.
been to Jasper.
In the winter, it's something
Yeah.
else. It's absolutely something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
World class. Like this show.
Jasper.travel/escape. Get on that. We'll tell you next week.
I'm excited to learn more about Jasper here. It's
Yeah,
been
man.
a while since I've been up there. I think at camp I canoed from there to Rocky Mountain House, which took a few days. That was about it.
I think you might be.
A little
Going.
cold for canoeing.
A little
You don't
cool.
even know it. I bet you might go to Jasper sooner than you think.
I'm very hopeful.
Friends of the
Heard very
program
good
going.
Things.
Friends.
Friends
So,
and enemies.
friends
all
of
the
the
above.
program going?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you doing here?
What am I doing here?
Yeah, you lost. What happened?
So I'm walking around Marteloup and
Of course,
looking
yeah.
for a hair, like someplace to get my hair done.
Yeah.
And I found a salon, and then there was a door, and I went, well, this looks like the wrong door, but I'll take it. And I went up the stairs, and
Here
lo and
we are.
behold, here we are.
What a coincidence.
You're looking for
with-
hair? You came to the
Look-
place.
Absolutely. What an incredible studio! Like this is. With this thing, can I take people for a tour?
Aside from the shitty wall behind
Yeah, the
you,
beige
which is
paint
the
is
only
not a
thing
fan.
people seem to
Jeez,
care
like,
about.
oh, let it go, son. You'll be okay.
We got big screens, we got couches, we got
Yeah, but nobody
technology.
sees that. They look at me and go, "Oh, look, it's what's his name, the bad actor who got drunk and they arrested him and they're taking mug shots of him." That's what it looks like. I'm at the mug shot. You need like the height thing here, so
Yeah, I
people go, "That's the guy that stole my purse."
What,
It's in the works.
6'3"? Is that
Yeah.
about right?
It's in the
6'3".
works.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right.
That's what I figured.
Exactly.
Don't need
Speaking
that.
of-
Everyone knows you're famous. You're
Yeah.
6'3".
Everybody knows something.
Speaking of haircuts,
Yes.
one of the last times I saw you on the internet, you were getting your hair.
Yeah, the hard way.
Oh dear.
The hard way.
Oh, Rob,
Hey?
my kids were there.
Were they?
They said some poor man was getting his head
Yeah.
shaved after getting knocked out in a ring.
A wicked DDT. is what happened.
DDT,
Yeah.
yeah. And you were out cold.
Out cold, and then while I was out cold, some shenanigans happened, and I
Yeah.
lost most of my hair.
They shaved your head.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
that was
Where
for
was-
who?
One person I can think of. Wait, it's you.
Yes, that's right.
And where was what your crew, your club,
The CDC.
the CDC?
Oh,
They
the
were
Cool
not.
Dads Club.
I
yeah.
would have thought they would have been on hand to back you up.
Well, two of them got knocked out.
Oh,
The rest of them were
Changing diapers. Where were they?
well,
doing?
they were in the back celebrating.
they were celebrating.
Well,
Is
that's
this
what
an
happened.
inside
is
job?
Premature celebration,
Oh.
and I got
Mm.
left in the ring, and
Oh.
Andy Anderson, unbeknownst to me, kicks me in the gut, gives me a big DDT right on top of a championship belt. I don't know if you guys have had that happen to you,
it's been a while.
out like that.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, Brent Gibbs, friend of the program,
yeah.
and JK, the two other founding members of the CDC,
Mm.
were waking me up, and it just you could feel the coolness on my scalp.
Coolness.
And
Yes.
the
the
CDC,
CDC,
is
CDC is cool. I mean, that would make
cool,
sense.
cool Dads Club.
Leg breakers, heart breakers, get off my lawn. It says it all, doesn't it?
That's right.
Wait for our new one, which is Dad Bods with Big Rods. That's our new
Oh,
T-shirt
wow.
coming out. No, like
Well,
fly
that's,
fishing and
soon to be
and
available
What
on
else
the-
would it be, Rob?
Huh?
On
What?
nationgear.ca.
Hey.
Get yours today. Maybe
Wow.
get those going.
probably the biggest accomplishment in my career, I would say, was regaining the championship for Chris Steele and with the CDC. Now, it didn't end the way we wanted, but it was a heck of a run for sure.
Because I remember at the time you were middle management.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what-
no,
you-
I'm
he's
middle
a middle
management.
manager.
You shouldn't
Yeah.
be involved in
I
those sorts
shouldn't.
of
You wouldn't think at
shenanigans.
my age. No, you wouldn't think.
I
but-
thought you were administering this match. not to be
No, no,
involved
no,
in
no,
this.
no,
Yeah.
no. I somehow got looped into it,
Yeah.
hogtied. I just trying to mind my own business as a middle manager would, right?
Right?
But here we
Yeah.
are, or there we were, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and we're going to get into the Pinder report here shortly because I know you got a whack of stuff to do. We
Hey,
got to
look,
get our
we're-
Betway
it's-
bets
it's
in and that.
18 after 11. We got lots of time.
We got
It's
time.
flexible.
So, what is
Rob can hang and watch some stuff with us.
There will be people, and it's presumptuous. There will be people that will not know. Rob was a longtime broadcaster, radio guy.
He is.
02, 03,
Up here,
you came to Calgary,
May 5th of 2003.
and
Just in time for the run. My God,
Yeah.
you think about that timing?
Yeah.
So I remember that spring, the Flames season ended on a pretty decent run and they sold out their last 10 games of the season. Daryl had come in mid-year
Yeah.
and there was hope.
Yeah.
For the first time, there was hope.
Yeah.
In so long. And then the next year it was Mika in and the incredible run. You timed it nicely, right?
I did. Actually, the first thing I did covering the Flames, because I was brought in to do the host Flames hockey and the hockey show, which was 1 hour, 1 hour, supposed to be
Yeah.
1 hour.
One
Anyway,
please.
yeah. I was up at Father David Bauer, and the Flames had their spring camp there, which featured Dennis Weidman, Mark Giordano, and Richie Regier.
The
And-
White Dog was here on a prospect camp.
yeah, and he left. He
Well,
left in
yeah.
the middle of it, went inside in St. Louis.
Oh.
And then Gio got the world famous three-way contract.
That's right.
Which you can't get anymore.
The
What,
EAN.
Daryl, right?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and the rest, as they say, was history. I mean, that, you know, that station was built on the back of Joe Sports and Kevin Usselman in the early parts. And yeah, to your point, like Mika gets acquired. And I was just mentioning, this was, I think it was last week was one of the anniversary
Yep.
of it, right?
Yep.
So whatever that was, 18 years ago.
Mhm.
And, you know, a lot's made of that trade. At the time, I don't think it's what everybody makes it out to be
Oh,
now.
God,
It's
no.
like, you know,
Like
it
a
was like,
second rounder for a guy I've
No.
never heard of. Like, what the hell is
and all I
Dallas
remember is,
smoking?
why did they get a Russian goalie? What? Kiprusoff. He's no.
Not Ovi?
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
I was one of the first media guys to meet Kiprusoff because the next day was the 3-star luncheon. At the
Oh,
time,
yeah.
they were still doing the Molson Cup 3-star luncheons. So Mika got sat at a table and I'm with me, and, like, you know, the table
Of
that
course, yeah.
extra people. So there's probably 2 other people there. We're sitting at
The
the
people
back.
that don't matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're talking, and he's asking me, what is the Grey Cup? Because the Grey Cup was just about to come up, and we got talking, and you have family and, you know, all this. And then he played against Montreal. He won 2-1, and people were like, wow. And that's when you say the rest is history. He got hurt over Christmas. The great story about, you know, about Noodles playing with the broken sternum.
Yeah.
And, you know, because Turek was out. There was all kinds of craziness. And, you know, to that end, when Mika was out, it was the great this is when I learned one of the big lessons in overtime, because Roman Turek got these games. And I think he went 3-4. And when he won, like when Kiprusoff comes back, Turek's got to have the net. Like Kiprusoff's got to back up Turek.
Overtime, the radio show.
Radio show. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And then when he lost, like, get that bum out of town, you know, bring up whoever, it doesn't matter at this point. Bring up Kron for all, who cares? But
Not bad.
yeah, it wasn't good. And then Kiprusoff came back. And then if you remember, you were talking about backup goalies and Daryl hating backup goalies. Well, I think Turek played 4 games the rest of the way, won them all. One was a 2-0 shutout in St. Louis. People were calling, he's got to get some time. They need, you know, they get into the series against Vancouver. They lose game 1. Better turn it over to Roman Turek. You know, there's always that overcoaching and panicking going on. But what
Sounds like that show, yeah.
yeah.
Wild overreaction.
So much
to
has
everything.
changed.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not
well,
like that
I'd like to
anymore.
think we were social media before social media, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I mean, you were there for forever. How many years? In
2011, went over to Sportsnet, ill-fated for 3 years, and then came back in 2014 and retired in 2018.
And of course, the highlight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kerboom. Oh, no?
That's right. Yeah.
Jan Arden.
Jan Arden?
I've told
yeah.
of all the things I'll miss. Of all the things.
Yeah.
We were doing a show.
Hello.
This is years after you and I were doing afternoons. Rob and I were I was his co-host on the afternoon show. That was my first introduction into Calgary, was to come and work with Rob. The last
But thankfully, you stayed.
the Sutter Fun golf tournament in Red Deer. You jump in, you pinch hit because somebody was away. So we're doing the
Mhm.
show in Red Deer.
Mhm.
And then you went straight
Yep.
to the office back in Calgary at 960. Straight. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 and quit.
That had nothing to do with you.
Well, it doesn't really
Had nothing to do
line
with you.
up that way, Rob. I mean, you could certainly
No,
say
I-
that. That's very polite of you.
No,
but
I'll tell you exactly.
one taste, and it was like it's like the moment it touched your lips, it was I need to go.
Because he
vomit.
keeps saying that it was just coincidental. That's
He is saying
No.
it's polite of him.
Listen, I'll tell you exactly why, and I call it retiring in 2018. I'll tell you 2 reasons I retired in 2018. The first reason was I was tired of Sportsnet treating it as a promotional platform and not as radio. Really got my goat that we were running ads on my show for Tim and Sid. So turn this radio off, turn your TV on, and go watch those guys in Toronto. That was bullshit. Was. Now, that's their choice.
And you know what?
They bought
there's the swear
Thank you.
jar.
You're not allowed to
Did you
say
hear
that?
No,
Oh,
kids
you're
sport.
good.
It's for the kids.
South Street Burger donates to Kidsport every time we swear. So
Bullshit.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Wow.
Got to hit the
One
thing.
more there for us. Thank you.
I think he's getting
There
back.
it is.
Because you know I'm a
But
board
in
member
terms
for
of
Kidsport.
the Tim and Sid, and I don't speak
no,
out of
but-
school, but it was the same with Bob McCowan.
100%.
That drove him crazy.
Yeah.
That there would be promotion for same company, direct competitor for that airtime.
Same market for him there
Right,
too.
right?
That's even more
Right.
infuriating.
They gave Ryan a shot for a couple weeks in Toronto. They took Walker over there, but there was no development.
Well, and
Nobody-
Walker got that chance because the other network wanted him.
right. And
I don't know that-
but you know what I mean? Like there was
Like, it's
they
too bad.
they weren't running it to promote radio. They were to grow radio. They were running it, which is fine. 100%. You spent all that money on the Jays and all that money on the NHL. You need to do that. But it wasn't fun anymore. It was like I'm competing against these ads running it, like, and it wasn't Kelly Kirsch, it wasn't you guys. It was just that's the way Rogers runs their business. That's okay. So that, and I think when I walked into the Rockets office and he looked at me and he said, you know, I want you to be our fantasy football expert. And I said, you mean have somebody on to talk about fantasy football? He goes, no, I want people to tune in to you and hear you on Mondays. Who does Rob Kerr think I should start? And who do you think I should sit? And I'm like, okay, great.
I know
think
who
it's time.
because we had Rob in our fantasy football for 1 year.
And then you guys hit it. Like I never knew there was fantasy football for 5 years. You guys had this underground fantasy football that nobody talked about. Here comes Rob. Don't talk about fantasy football. Pat,
were
be
starting-
quiet. Be quiet.
corpses on bye weeks, and that behavior was not tolerated by the commissioner. But you were new to it. But
No, I wasn't new to it. I drafted
Okay.
good people. To me, if you want
Okay.
people on your team,
Yeah.
you want good
good
citizens,
people on buys,
people who
or
are
should not be in
good
starting
in the
slots.
locker room, which does not work in fantasy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the things that happen. Is you go to your boss would go to a seminar. And this isn't the shot at Kirsch. It isn't. I'm going to Phoenix to a seminar. Fantasy football is big. Come back. We need to do fantasy football. Rob, you're going
You're
to do
in
our
charge.
right. It's just
No,
like
I just think, yeah, but I
gambling is big. People
that-
gamble. Let's talk about gambling. Rob, you're going to be our gambling expert.
in fairness to Kirsch, and I would say in fairness to Sportsnet, 2018 is when the U.S. government legalized sports betting. So we were knew we were on the
Yeah, some
cusp of
states were
legalized betting coming. They read the tea leaves. They knew where it was going, and they were trying to get everybody aligned. And that's cool, but that's not me. And it wasn't me. And so I knew where it was going. I didn't want to be someplace where I had to promote somebody else against
Yeah.
myself. So it was time for me to move on, and I jumped ship and I went back to the private sector. Well, went back into sports business and ran a team for a while, and I like that part too. But it's a different world. The world has changed in the last 10 years. Last year it's changed, right? So
last
here we are.
Are you kidding me?
right, like this to me is the future. Like this to me is
it's the present.
No, but I think it's the future too. I do. I think it's the next step. Dan Patrick was not the first, but I think when Dan Patrick expanded and put all the cameras in and made it a TV show, made a radio show a TV. Listen, don't try to say Dan Patrick, because I know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to tell me that Dan Patrick was the first guy to do it. And I'm telling you, you're wrong. The Sports Babe was the first
Sports Babe.
was the first sports talk radio show I ever remember being on TV, but it was one camera. It was all of this. Patrick changed that.
Yeah.
And then I think the internet, again, where do you choose to consume your information? Where do you choose to consume your programming? Yes, I can opine about the death of AM radio, and I miss it dearly, but that doesn't change the fact you go where the people go. And this is where the people are. And I think it's really cool. I think it is really cool.
So you are in, and I'll don't think you mind me saying it. You are in a spot in your life where you're looking for something to do. There's been a pivot in your professional life. What stirs your drink right now?
Well, it's interesting. So I burnt myself out. So I know, mental health month is January, and let's talk and all that. You want to know what mental health looks like. You want to know what burnout looks like. You're looking at it. I burnt myself out. I did. Nobody else. I chose to prioritize work over my family. I chose prioritize work over my health. I just got to a point where I was not in a good place anymore and needed help. Took me a long time to reach out and ask for help. And then when I did, through my doctor, through my family, I got the help. I got the counseling. I got the medication. I got back to a place where I feel good. I owe an apology to my coworkers, my friends, present company included, my family, because for the last 18 months coming out of COVID, I wasn't me and I wasn't doing a good job and I was just not healthy. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, which you didn't know we were going to give me, but I want to take this opportunity because I'm hoping and praying somebody out there who's been driving themselves, pushing themselves, trying to keep ahead of it, hears this and goes, nobody came out of that last 2 years unscathed. And if you need help, ask for help. This is somebody who's telling you mental health issues affect all of us, especially men. And you're not a coward. You're not nothing. You just have to make that first step. Made that first step. So now I'm finally starting to come around. I'm, the tea is sweeter. The show is brighter. The friends are friendlier. The whole 9 yards. Right now, I'm looking at a bunch of different things. I'm repping my superheroes hero stuff. That's my passion.
Isn't that the best stuff?
It
does
is.
That not make you feel
Yeah,
warm inside
oh my
more than
gosh. The
anything else?
superheroes program. We're going to Ottawa in March. We're taking a team to a tournament with the Capital City Condors in Ottawa in March, which will be really cool, which got kind of knocked out first originally by COVID. So we're finally going, but we've got a little teddy bear game coming against, we're going to play the North Stars from the Northeast, our friends there. And we got a game coming up on the 4th at Max Bell 2, which everybody's welcome to come to.
And they're on a hell of a tear. I see online this Heroes team, they're beating some real impressive
Oh, it's good
hockey
coaching.
teams.
I got to tell you,
So, yeah.
it's good coaching. But for those who don't know, it's a program for kids with autism and Down syndrome, and we have kids with physical disabilities, cerebral palsy, and we have ways of getting them on the ice. And for the last 5 years, we're now up to 9 teams in Western Canada, 3 in Calgary, and it's Kevin Hodgson's just a saint. He's the one that runs Heroes, but I go out every Sunday and help. And what we didn't know, and we thought we were going to do a program for kids. It's for families. It's families that work with kids with special needs go through a lot of things. Twins aren't special needs, Ryan, but you know what it's like as a parent. No, but you know what I mean? Like, kids can really take up a lot of your time. And we didn't realize that just a 1 hour break a week where a parent can go and sit in the stands and doesn't have to worry about their kid, doesn't have to do anything, how important that was. So from that standpoint, that's what drives me. What am I, Boom, I've got lots of friends. I got lots of, I don't know.
I said
I'm
to
excited.
you, I guess, and it took me a couple days to get back to you. Apologies. But I mean, it's two things. A lot of times when you have issues or when issues come up, it's because of bad behavior or poor habits or that sort of thing. And with you, and with, I think, so many people, you got to that place because your work ethic is so strong and because you care. And you could, sure, I can do that. Yeah, I can do a little bit more. You keep giving and giving
Can't
and
say
doing
no.
more and doing more. And your heart is absolutely in the right place. But and everybody is benefiting from your behavior except you. And it takes a toll on you. And I'm not putting myself in your shoes, but I was
you know what
kind
it's
of
like.
that people, oh, so what happened? I just couldn't get up at 3 anymore.
No.
My kids were, they could see that I was a different guy
Yes.
when I had sleep and same thing. You go talk to somebody, you get help, and it can change everything. And somebody will benefit from that.
Yeah.
Because the one day I said it was my first time going back to the Dome in the press box in about 10 years because I was so embarrassed. I'd been gone for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And that first game, a guy that works at the Dome walked up. He said, "Hey, I just want to say what I saw the show and what you said resonated with me 100%.
Yep.
Thanks for saying that."
Yep.
It's what I want to do with this thing, down the road. We were talking about charity endeavors that's close and near and dear to all of our hearts.
Yeah.
And I think that, man, mental health, I agree with you. If you had something wrong with your liver, you'd sit around with your buddies like, "Oh, my friggin' liver's acting up
Sure.
again. I'm taking pills. I got to get but we'd never say it. And I do feel hypocritical because you sit here and you talk about it. And I've never really come out with my full story or done that. And I hope to be able to do it, but it's real. And it's not like you say, it's not an embarrassment. That remove the stigma thing. I'm happy for you because you are a different guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because you got there because you worked. So there was nothing you wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Ask Kerr and he'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's
But-
and there's no shame.
No,
in
there
that.
not any shame in it, but it's also not healthy because
It's easy to put yourself last. It's the easiest thing.
right, but you don't treat people the right way. You don't return calls. You don't, you're edgy. You're all of those things, and that's what I became. Is I became this big ball of nerves, and you put so much effort into trying to survive every day, but by the time you get home, you're useless to your family, and that's the biggest thing. My family has endured so much, and this last 4 or 5 months has been so incredible. So like you're rediscovering them again, and you're around and you're building and you're doing things for them. So no, I'm good. Like I'm in a really good place, and I'm excited. I've got some real opportunities, and I'm enjoying this. Like I'm enjoying watching you guys. I'm enjoying watching Andrew. I think in the past you're always negative, right? Like you're mad at everybody. I'm not mad. Like this is cool. Like what you guys do here and watching Retro come on and do his thing this morning. That's fun, man. Like it's fun. And, I feel for the guys that are, still on the other side. I hope that turns around. I hope, they, figure it out and we can all, I think there's enough for everybody. And this is a great sports town. Like it's a great sports town. So there's lots of room for everybody, right? I don't know.
So
Is that what we're supposed to say?
So not professional wrestling then.
Oh,
I haven't ruled it out.
Okay.
I haven't ruled it out.
I was kind of
there,
suggesting
there
not.
remains
I
opportunities.
honestly, I think, I just think, why would you close the door? Right?
It went so
would you close the
swimmingly
door?
last
So
time.
it's-
I wouldn't
yeah.
be writing it off.
Once
eh?
you've gotten your head
Yeah, but
shaved bald.
but Ryan, I'm a big failure guy. Like you learn through your failures, man. Nobody's failed better than me. I
Yeah.
fail all the time and I learn from it.
fail up.
Fail up. Can we do the
There's-
Pinder report?
We're good. We can save it for tomorrow. It's
Really?
nothing time. There's no games in the NHL tonight. All the stuff I was going to talk about is going to be
There's
tomorrow.
football.
We got football. We can give you a score update.
Do you want to do a condensed version for Village Honda then?
I mean, we could.
I
tell
feel
you
like
what
they
the hell's
deserve
going on.
something.
But it's up to you. Because I'm happy doing this. I'm happy. What do
I
wanna do?
no.
We you know what?
Honestly, we got Rob here, and
Sure.
there's no games tonight. And I wanted to watch a couple of fights and hilarious things, and note some things that happened in the NHL. I can do the Red tomorrow. That's great.
Well, can we at least do the fight?
Yeah, let's get the fight.
Let's do the fight.
All right.
So okay,
It's the
let
Pinder
me set
report
this, the
for
scene
Village
for you.
Honda. I got to get the read in.
There, where we go.
Village Honda.
$2 million, Dean. Get a piece for yourself.
$2 million.
Go get some.
That's Rob Kerr money right there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a pro wrestling. Money.
That's right.
$2 million Village Honda has set aside to buy vehicles. They'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from them. You could get a trip to Las Vegas. See what more?
That would be worse.
They are your dealership for life. 7663 110 Ave Northwest. VillageHonda.com is where you go online. Anthony is our boy up there. How's his mood? Because he's big soccer
Well,
guy.
the Dutch squeaked one out against Senegal, so he was happy about that. And then he said he was moaning. He had some work obligations, a conference, so he couldn't watch
Oh,
Canada
really?
live yesterday, which
Must
tear
have
the
been a
man's
big
heart
deal.
out.
Must have been a big deal.
It's got to be a huge deal.
Wow. All right. So VillageHonda.com. Don't need to do the whole thing. What do you want to do here? I don't know what.
Okay. So last night, 15 games, none today. American Thanksgiving football games. You already got the Bills and Lions underway. It was 7-0 Lions and then 14-7 Bills. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Get you a score before the end of the show. But one of the 15 games last night, there's a few storylines to it. Chicago goes up 4-1 on Dallas, who I don't know if you looked at the standings, running away with the Central. Not Colorado, not
Stars.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Stars been great. Ottinger's picked up exactly where he left off from that series against the Flames. Jason Robertson on an absolute heater, 13-game point streak, I believe.
Underpaid.
Big time. We were talking about that. He could ask for 10 and be like, yeah, what are we going to do? Give it to him. And our boy, Yanni Hakanpää.
Yanni Hakanpää.
Yanni sheds the mittens here. Let's have a look. This is definitely not the Stars and the
That's
Blackhawks.
definitely not Stars and Blackhawks, but
No,
you know,
we're
it's
kind of jumping right in here.
It's all right.
This is a fight. I
Ooh.
mean, we can watch a fight, I guess, if we'd like.
Do they still have?
This isn't even last night. It
This
was
is
the
from
Rangers
this is
and the
hockey
Ducks.
fights from many years ago
Oh,
because they have the
good.
tarps on the seats. So that would be from the
This is a pandemic scrap.
from COVID.
All right. Yeah,
COVID.
look at that.
years.
COVID scrap, guys. Pinder report.
It was great.
All right, well, we can take that down then.
Yeah,
Jason
we're
Robertson,
talking that fight.
I wanted to get tied in league lead for goals with McDavid. That's the kind of year that this.
Well,
kid's
and
at.
Horvat's right there too. Like,
Yeah.
there's been some. We're kind of. I think tomorrow officially we'll cross the quarter pole for games in the NHL. So 25% of the season will have been completed. Not necessarily for the Flames, but in terms of total games. And there's some quarters of seasons that are quite impressive. You want to talk about free agent Bo Horvat, free agent David Pasternak, And then some of the other storylines have been phenomenal in terms of some of these teams that are running away. I mean,
Pasternak, the 30 points in 20 games.
If
That
only
guy,
there was some
fourth in league
recent
scoring.
examples of guys going into contract years that
Yeah.
had successful
Incredible.
final seasons.
well, I would
and
just let that get right to the wire and expect that they'd resign. Stay there.
I honestly,
The
I would.
season started. We don't negotiate in the
We
middle
can't
of the
negotiate in
season. No
season.
players do that.
One thing we do know, though, is that guess the way the leverage moves as this season progresses.
Yeah.
We always seem to
I
forget,
would-
like, it just
where-
keeps
where
going
does Horvat
closer and
go?
closer to the. Where do they trade them? It's
Yeah.
probably like they're not good enough, so you
Yeah.
don't let that go for nothing.
No.
And like, who could use another center? That's Colorado to me.
Yeah, but
If
what's
it's-
Colorado to give? This has to be a home run for Vancouver.
Oh, for sure, but
But I
can
don't
be.
think Colorado has the assets to do a home run at this
I
point.
think they could give up a couple firsts and a prospect for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah,
And it's a rental, right? Like,
it is, no, it's absolutely a rental. But if you're Vancouver, could you get something out of? No, it's the
New
same
York,
thing.
maybe.
It's, no, you know who? I don't know if they need another center, but what about Jersey? What about is Jersey now a buyer because
Maybe.
they are better than
There's-
they're a little more advanced at this point than they were.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Huge
it's the
future down the
same thing
middle.
as Colorado, though, because if you're giving up first round picks, you're giving up late round first round picks. They might have more youth in the system or drafted players than Colorado would have that maybe Vancouver.
Their
will run
system
on.
would be better for sure. I'd agree with that. What Colorado's need is they don't have a two center. Kadri's gone, and
Yep.
they've basically said our third and our fourth centers are trying out for number two center, and that's a matchup nightmare. Not that they don't have lots of talent elsewhere, but
Would they
if
be wi-
Alex Newhook or JT Confer's your second line center, you're going to have the second best second line center in any series you play in the playoffs. That's not who they're going to war with.
No, absolutely not. But the Colorado one, first of all, would they trade him to Colorado? Would they trade him within the West?
I
Would
don't think they
Rutherford?
care. They shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. But
But that's the thing.
Out of division.
That don't let common sense.
No, and
come
it's a
in.
rental, right? Like it's not like you're going to run into Colorado in the playoffs. You don't know where he's going to.
is it a rental if you try to make this in January? If you try to make this, like a Toffoli deal, and I know Toffoli wasn't a UFA, but I'm just saying, if you get out in front of it, if you're committed to getting out in front of it and committed to giving the Horvat camp a big raise, is it a rental?
I just wonder about what contender that wants Horvat has the space to give him money.
That's even better. And without
Well,
my
and-
trusty laptop, I don't have cap
no,
friendly in front of
and
me.
even if you had it, you don't know whether the cap's going up 4 million or $1 million.
That's true.
And so
That's
that's a
true.
big difference. And I just think most contenders are pretty capped. And that's not talking about this year, like beyond. Like there just isn't a lot of like, oh, well, just in a year we're a contender. We got all this cap. So I don't see a lot.
Do you
of
believe
those.
Horvat's getting traded, or do you
Yes.
believe they're
See,
going to keep him?
I was going to say, start there. Where's the Vancouver mindset?
Well, they chose their money on JT Miller, and it seems like that place is pretty toxic right now. I think they'd love to re-sign him. I think financially they'd have to jump through hoops that are really hard to do, and I
Yeah.
don't think his appetite would be there like it was 6 months ago when they bring Boudreaux in and all of a sudden they're playing good hockey and Pettersson starts looking like Pettersson again. Like, oh boys, if we just started on time this year, we're a playoff team. Everything's fine. Well, then you get another slow start. The coach doesn't look like it's a long-term fit. This GM's starting to look like the last GM, committing
Well,
money
who's
in the wrong
who's the
spots.
GM?
That's a good question as well. Is it Rutherford or is it?
I
Patrick
think this
Allvin?
is the classic. I've added another body to insulate me from being fired, so I'll be the president making all the moves
Yeah.
rather than having the GM. Right? That's what it feels like to me.
Well, and so it's like if you're Bo Horvat and you're signing up in Vancouver, who's my coach long term?
Mhm.
Don't know.
Mhm.
Who's making the decisions here?
Mhm.
You might have a clue, but I don't know that that's clear cut either.
Yep.
And it's like, what's the one consistent factor for how the reason they've been no good since they went to the Cup final is the owner is a big part of the issues there, and that's not changing.
Yep.
So I just think Horvat has at many times in his career probably been really enthusiastic about being there long term. This might be rock bottom for that kind of sentiment right now.
Yep.
So I think they absolutely have to move him for fear of getting nothing.
And nothing helps, mend fences more than millions and millions of dollars. But how does Horvat and his heart feel about the Vancouver Canucks?
It's probably
In addition to that,
dicey.
where's your heart? Are you still? You're wearing the C in your chest. You saw them sign JT Miller. You see how things are going. Are you emotionally invested in this team that clearly prioritized Miller over you?
Well, I think you can make the case that I am, because look at the goals I'm scoring. I'm doing my job. I'm leading my team.
He's
I'm
doing
trying to do
exactly what you want to do in your fly year.
or that.
No, he's been
Or
he's-
that. But
been
to,
great.
to Boom's point, he's the captain. He's your leader. And what's he doing? Well, he's up
been
there
awesome.
in the NHL in goals, and he's doing everything he can. He's in the catbird seat right now.
He gets whatever he wants here, guys. That's what it is. He
I don't think
probably
Pasternak's going anywhere. I think Boston's keeping.
They've got a
Pasternak.
long storied tradition of keeping their guys and doing it at reasonable rates. It would be out of character. And the flip, I think, is true with Vancouver. I would trust them to screw this up rather than get this right.
There is that.
Just like, oh, there's only one more year on Louis Eriksson. Quick, let's get him out and bring in OEL. Like, oh, you're going to get sick of losing the bad money. Hey, let's go get some more.
It does break Pinder up to see the Canucks struggling.
It does, eh?
Yeah.
It's just tough. I wish Jimbo was there.
You're just a closet Canucks fan being
If-
from
if-
Vancouver.
If Jimbo was there, I would be so much happier with their
Yeah.
misery.
It's all good.
Brock's a good player. And
Do we know where he is? Has he surfaced?
I don't know that.
Who, Benning?
Yeah.
I think he will, but he's probably still on payroll. You don't really
Yeah.
surface until you're done getting paid, is my guess, or at least later in that process. He'll go.
I haven't heard the name in a while.
No.
like,
me
like,
either.
would it surprise you if he's back in Boston as an advisor in 6 months? Like that feels like what happens.
Good scrap.
Excellent.
I liked seeing that.
Timely,
Yeah.
and like it's that fresh. You hadn't seen it, I bet.
It's really, yeah. If I had seen it, it's been so long I'd forgotten I'd seen it.
And honestly, I thought the Ducks wore those Stars jerseys well.
Did you want to do anything else? Or,
I'm good. We can give you a score update if you'd like.
Yeah, do that.
Let's
Village
do that.
Honda. Drive away today in a pre-owned vehicle from Village Honda. Over 60 on site. Access to over 400 more. They have what you're looking for. You can visit them today, Northwest Auto Mall, or at villagehonda.com.
Late in the first half, in the first of the U.S. triple header for American football, you got the Lions at the 1 yard line on 4th and goal, down 14-7, and some finals from the universe of World Cup soccer, which, Dean, get this, 36 years? Like, talk about where were you moment? Not watching the game is where he was yesterday.
I had to pick up my daughter from school. She was not feeling well.
I'm sorry.
Don't
about
you
that.
feel bad now?
I don't feel bad.
2
I'm just saying
hours?
you could.
It's a
Where's
long,
she going to school? Lethbridge?
Right there. What the
Like,
hell's
you
going on, dude?
drive
Story doesn't pass the
it's a
sniff test.
special school.
All right.
Very good school.
Switzerland wins over Cameroon, Uruguay and Korea a tie. Portugal gets 3 to beat Ghana, and Brazil, Serbia is your nooner today. It'll be fun.
There you go.
See you down at Cowboys.
Let's do our Betway bets. There are 2 other games today. We'll
Yeah,
do bets.
let's
Maybe we do before the weekend, but it's Thanksgiving, so 2 games today. We'll do a couple each. Betway bets of the day. Be responsible, right? Be
Be
responsible.
responsible. I'll lead off if you want.
Well, it's already up. Boomers
Good,
bets
good.
of the day. I'm going with the public. I'm going to be. I am not a sharp. I am taking favorites. Both of them at home. The Giants' secondary is banged up. Their offensive line is banged up. They have receivers who are out. Cowboys 10.5 at home. I'm going to give away the 10.5. It feels like a rout to me. That
Walloped
Cowboys
the Vikings
defense
last
is
week on the road. Yeah.
Cowboys defense is legit.
Mhm.
And the Patriots at the Vikings. I think if the Vikings don't take that thrashing a week ago, this is a different number. It's a bit of a reset here. I think they're a field goal better than New England.
Let the record show that Dean is backing primetime Kirk Cousins. Nothing could
It's
go
true.
wrong.
You know what? I like the hook of the 0.5. If
I
it's
don't mind
3, I'm probably
I feel like if this game is in like an 11 o'clock on a Sunday window, it's like 4.5. Like it's already cooked into the price that Kirk Cousins is going to somehow screw it up because it's prime time.
it's crazy.
All
So
right.
that's what I got.
My picks, I've got 2 props I'm looking at for Giants Cowboys. I'm with you. I really like the Cowboys today. Zeke Elliott is the first touchdown scorer. I don't think he's the bell cow there, but if it's early and you're on the 1, give it to Zeke. Pollard's going to get his later. I don't like him to be better than Pollard today, but early on, why not? And then just 200 yards for each quarterback. Doesn't seem like a lot. I mean, Danny Dimes, with that game script's probably not really going to be running the ball in the second half if it's going the way you think it's going to go.
Is it Slayton? Like who's catching balls right now?
Anyone.
Robinson is out.
He can be swinging it out to the running back. They're down 14 in the second half. They're throwing all day. Plus 125 if they both eclipse 200 yards.
There
Which
you go.
ain't much. There's the Betway bets of the day.
I think that's probably good for today.
What?
We want you to
boy.
subscribe.
Who's
We've
that?
We've got a new YouTube channel, our own YouTube channel coming out. We want you to go and subscribe to that. And if you do, we're going to find a way. We're going to take one of those subscribers, take the picture, your screen grab
Screenshot,
of
yeah.
you subscribing to our Flames Nation YouTube page. One of you is going to win tickets to the 29th game against the Florida Panthers.
Check that Flames Nation social media if you need links to get there. And yeah, Chucky Bowl on Tuesday. That will not be boring.
And that, of course, with Mad Rose Pub.
Beauty.
Put Vista Place up there. 15 Royal Vista Place.
They'd be
It's
busy
fancy.
with all this soccer.
And
hockey
we,
and football.
the Wolverine wanted us to tell you that this show is available on flamesnation.ca.
Go to the website.
You know, you can go to YouTube, or you can go to our website. It only makes sense that all of
Mm-hmm.
our content would also be on our website. So flamesnation.ca. Plus, there's lots going on there. Ryan Pike and Steinberg and the boys put stuff up every single day.
Lots of people loving Backlund and Huberto together, as you boldly. We'll leave that alone.
Hey,
See you next week.
if Ruzicka wants to continue at his
I don't mind.
120 point put, looked pretty.
Yeah, it seems sustainable, right?
Looked a little invisible last night. Nonetheless.
Robert, good to see you.
Can I just
Yeah.
plug something?
Fire.
Yeah.
Still tickets available for Let's Talk Hockey on
Right.
Monday for the prep program. Just go to program. Google them. I can't remember. I think it's .ca.
Prepprogram.ca.
Thank you.
/ LTH, which is Let's Talk Hockey.
Right. So you can meet Craig Conroy as well, Noah
Chris
Hannafin and
Tanev?
Chris Tanev and Nazem Kadri will be there.
Awesome.
All kinds of fun, and it's for a great cause.
And what, because we had been talking about it, we gave away tickets a couple, it was last
Thank you
week.
for
Connie
doing
was
that.
here,
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy. Thank you.
Mm.
Describe the event, because what is it about? And
So-
you're
so the-
talking hockey.
So
but
the event is for the prep program, which is a program that helps kids with Down syndrome in school and helps them with things that they need to be successful in life. And it's just a great. Chris Sutter's a graduate of there, so a number of our superheroes players are there. So it really is meaningful. So Connie and I have been doing it for a while. We a couple years ago, Connie shot his mouth off and said that he could juggle while riding a unicycle. So we tried that. He couldn't. We brought a unicycle and he couldn't. But we'll do something. And then
do you have unicycles just kicking around
well,
in case somebody
it's
Had a
funny.
year to find it, right?
flies off?
Funny when you say Conroy wants to ride a unicycle, how many people text you immediately
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
I happen to have one. So we'll
Don't
talk.
tell anyone, but I
No,
own a
yeah, I just happen to have a
unicycle.
unicycle. One of the things that they do is really cool is they sell hockey cards. Did Craig talk about
No.
this? Yeah. So you buy the packs of hockey cards, but you create sets, captains, Team Canada's, 500 goal scorers, and you put them together. And if you get the sets, then you enter in for these jerseys. So there's always card trading going on,
Nice.
and there's fun there. A lot of interaction with the guests, but really just a kind of a cool evening. Craig's your host, and I just keep it on the rails.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's Monday, November 28th, 6:30 to 9:30. Prepprogram.ca / LTH 2022.
Ask him
Just the
about the
website.
wetter and just
Whatever
warm him
you-
up and then
whatever-
he gets going. It's-
Whatever,
it's
yeah.
just
You guys
get him
brought him on here.
defrosted
You know how
early.
it
Yeah.
works.
Weird that you just happened to be in Marteloup today, and
Well, now I got to get a haircut.
that's right. That's very
Wrong door.
close.
Wrong door.
Very close. That's
This was cool.
that's
Congratulations,
nice.
by the way. This is
Thanks.
really awesome.
Thank you.
yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
That'll do it. See you tomorrow, buddies.